Quote from my co-host, what's popping and what's dropping. This is Craig Smith II here with a new episode of Let's Draw on Something. This is episode number 27, entitled Escape to Texas. That's right. Why I call it Escape to Texas? Because I'm going to be interviewing my co-host, none other than the man himself, born and raised out of the 901, and he relocated to the 832, and he going to make some big moves, so you're going to definitely know how he do. Jimmy J. McWright. In this episode, we're gonna do a quick Facebook status of the week, and then we're gonna get on an interview. And Jimmy detailed his experiences in Memphis, and let alone what what were the precursors of him moving. But you'll see in the description, and how is he so far adjusting to life as a Texan. Let's also I won't forget to mention that Let's Draw on Something along with the Jimmy Jsmoove Network has been brought to you in part by Trey Styles Custom and Designs. There's not anything he can customize. Hit him up for your NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, MLS, family reunion, or special occasion t-shirts, or whatever you need customized. He can do it. Hit him up at 901-364-3698. That's 901-364-3698. So, without further ado, what's up, Jimmy?
What's popping and what's dropping, brother, man? Just hoping my Astros going to pull off this 2-0 upset, man, because you know what I'm saying. They had the Nationals surprised me. You know what I'm saying. Their starting pitchers are good, but I wish my boys would take advantage of those relief pitchers. But nevertheless, man, regardless of what happens during the World Series, man, I'm good, and I'm proud of the Astros for making it this far. And like I say, we're going to have a big rivalry with the Yankees, you know what I'm saying, barring that we don't give up too many extra people, you know what I'm saying. So it's going to be a rivalry for at least the next 5 years between us and the Yankees, man. And I feel like, and I stand by this, even though the Nationals have so far kicked our asses, I still stand on this. They wouldn't beat the Yankees right now. The Yankees would be 3-0 against these motherfuckers. So what kills me about the Astros sometimes is, hey, you know what I'm saying? We play the Yankees. We'll beat the Yankees' ass, but the next thing we know, we playing bullshit ball against teams that we supposed to beat, like the Nationals. Because, granted, the Astros lead the league in every statistical category, or in the top 5 in every statistical category except stolen bases. That's the only statistical category that they're not number 1 or in the top 5. Astros is number 3 home runs to the Yankees and the Red Sox. We're number 1 in strikeouts, like for the second straight year, and the third time in the last 5 years. We have the best fielding average of any teams, which means we catch pop out balls in the field of play. We have the most in all of baseball. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, go Stros, man. Hopefully they come back and take this home, so I can give me another championship hat. But you know what I'm saying. Nevertheless, man, what's the topics we're gonna discuss today, other than my story about Memphis?
Not much, man. Gonna start something new on here on this show. Uh, Facebook stats of the week goes to Tordre Johnson. Shout out to him. He got a good point with this one here. He said, if the Golden State office was smart, they would have got rid of Draymond last year in order to keep Kevin Durant. Now y'all have gave out Now y'all have gave out 4 max contracts and had to get rid of everyone else because now all y'all can afford is a bunch of kids / rookies from the G League. Could have just had Steph, Clay, and KD and Andre Iguodala and traded Draymond.
Or if
But wait a minute. Let's hold up. Let's all do it together. What you was about to do. I agree with my guy, man. I agree with him. And then I made a comment because a lot of people were bragging on him. I made a comment and I said Draymond Sharkmouth ass finally admitted that he basically ran Kevin Durant out of town. That same 4-year, $100 million extension they gave his ass, they could have gave it to KD. I said the front office will reap what they sow.
Agreed. I totally agree.
And he also said, and OTJ also said this. He said, and Craig, and all they had to do was trade Draymond's ass. That's why they can't fill up the new seats with his follow LeBron looking ass. Soon as he signed with Clutch Sports, they should have sent him to the Grizzlies or to the Cavs. And then he liked this reply that I said. And I said, I also failed to mention that when he was asked about him taking the blame for the Warriors losing in the 2016 finals, he danced around that question and talked about some other bullshit. I gotta agree with that, man, because I said we both said it on here. He didn't, Draymond a strange cat, man, because you ain't friendly to the media. Why don't you just go ahead and be man? He finally was man enough to admit that he basically ran KD out of town. Now the Nets paying for it because Kevin Durant more than likely gonna be. He won't start playing. He won't be start playing until next year because his Achilles ain't all right. And then from what I said, he just went on ahead. And from what I found out, he just went on ahead and signed with the Nets. Didn't do a meet with him or nothing. He just agreed to him. I felt, and a lot of us feel this way. Tordre feels this way. You feel this way, and I'm pretty sure everybody else feels this way. They should have just went on ahead and traded Draymond to the fucking Lakers and gave Kevin Durant that same amount of money. Because they had gave Kevin Durant that same amount of money, or better yet, they could have did a sign and trade with the Lakers. Either or. Either or. But I agree. I definitely agree with what Tordre said, man. Because and then, huh?
Or get them a big man, because the word around the street is after next year, the Warriors are going to try to go after. Just the word around the Oakland area, and this is confirmed by the people that my connections out in Oakland, town business in the Cali Enigma. They're actually talking about going after Giannis, but we don't know how. Saying we don't.
Yeah. They really need a big man in the paint, man.
If they can get if Giannis can take Milwaukee to the NBA Finals like he should, he probably is going to stay at Milwaukee. So I wouldn't put all my eggs into getting Giannis, but I know they're going to try to go after him. I know this for a fact, because usually when they talk about something that's coming out of the Bay Area, they're usually right on. They were usually right on the money on that. I've never known them to be wrong off the top of my head. So that would be a smart move if they ever able to pull it off. But I don't know. But the Warriors should have. I would have went after Karl Anthony Towns, me personally, because the way
that fool hit 7 3-pointers against the Nets in opening night. 7 out of 7, dog.
Ever since you called that fool Karl Anthony Clowns, that motherfucker been balling. And last year, he averaged, like, toward the latter part of the year, I think he had like 10, 15 straight games to where he was averaging 30 or more points. You know what I'm saying? So the kid, Jimmy Butler leaving has really helped him a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because
I put it like this.
Go ahead.
I think Jimmy Butler, he was more I can't call him Karl Anthony Clowns, because he was clowning along with Andrew Wiggins. But I think the way Jimmy, Wiggins really didn't want. Wiggins probably felt. Let's just be real here. Wiggins ran Jimmy Butler out of town because he felt, hey, this is my team. Your old ass just can't come. And then talking about, he called him. I had the nerve to call Jimmy Butler a bum. Jimmy Butler been to the playoffs more than his ass have. Jimmy Butler played more than one season of college basketball when he was at Marquette. And really, Jimmy Butler basically was motivating Karl Anthony Towns. Motivating Andrew Wiggins is like a fart in church. So
yeah, so I mean,
and that's another dude they fucking overpaid, because he ain't. McGrady said it best. All of them said it best. Man, Wiggins ain't worth all that money. Because he ain't realized his potential. And when LeBron made Cleveland, maybe LeBron was on to something about Andrew Wiggins when they hurried up and traded him from Cleveland to Minnesota. Dude, garbage. Yeah. But ever since I called him Karl Anthony Clown, so I guess it got back to him what I said. I don't know. That man been killing. I mean, 7 for 7 on threes, and these are step back threes.
Yeah.
Step back threes from the top of the key, dude.
And dude was shooting threes in high school, but Calipari wanted him had altered his game, which is why had Karl Anthony Towns been able to play his game at Kentucky.
Anthony Davis even said that, man. Even DeMarcus Cousins came out and said, he said, man, like, he said, my way of telling, like, Calipari gonna tell me I supposed to play a power forward don't you be shooting threes. He said, so you know what I did? I was pulling up and hitting them anyway. That was me. He said it was my way of telling him, fuck you. You let me play the way I play. Now it's different in football, but in basketball, hey, in this day and age, man, you know that and some of these old cats, they need to get out their ways too, because they forgot there were guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Patrick Ewing, Akeem, David Robinson. These were motherfuckers hitting 3-pointers. Goddamn, Christian Laettner was a damn power forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, I see. 48-30, Kansas State 22. Okay. Damn.
They're at the 9. They're at the
what
9.
The fuck?
They're at the first and goal at the 9.
Who, Kansas State or Oklahoma?
Oklahoma.
God damn.
That's why I say Oklahoma's was in their territory.
And so I just talked about this shit. I said they fuck around, find a way to chief Oklahoma, man. That's fucked up. Kansas State don't deserve to lose a game like that.
Now. According, I'm getting a live ticker. They're at the 1 now, but they up by 20 points. That's their fault. If you let them hoes go like that, that's your fault. I can't call that cheating. If you up like that, you know that you're not getting cheated. You add a touchdown 36-48. So yeah, they gonna at least make a game of it now. Now that you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I turned it off. Update Ohio State and Wisconsin wasn't much of a game, so I turned that let me down too. But what we was talking about, man,
Karl Anthony Towns,
yeah, I mean they're good, but this dude and Wiggins did not show up in that first game. A whole bunch of guys I ain't never heard of showed up, but Wiggins didn't. I mean, Minnesota need to go and get rid of this dude for real.
Yeah, I don't know if they will, but from what I'm looking at, if I'm Karl Anthony Towns and I continue to miss the playoffs like they've been doing, I would look to get a trade. But if I'm the Warriors,
that's who Golden State need to go after. This is what I would have did. I would have traded. Hold up. This is what I would have did. I would have traded, and I agree with Tordry on this one. Shout out to him again, by the way. I'm going to tag him on it. I would have traded Draymond Green and a draft pick to Minnesota for Karl Anthony Towns in a first-round pick.
Yeah.
And your starting lineup would have been, now that with Klay Thompson out till next year, this would have been a starting lineup. D'Angelo running point, Steph Curry at the shooting guard. You can mix that up. Kevin Durant. Who's the other star for it? Iguodala. You put Iggy in the starting lineup, and you have fucking Karl Anthony Towns. That would have been the damn. Woo.
Yeah, and not only that, you know, Karl Anthony Towns can go inside and out, so that gives.
Yeah, and then that would have been that really would have been a good that really would have been a good setup for him. Cause see, and you also when I looked at that game the other night, man. Because we're gonna talk about Doc Rivers and them at another time. Excuse me. Steve Kerr basically fucked that whole philosophy up on purpose of how Golden State was with the Mark Jackson era. Mark Jackson was about defense and offense.
Right.
But you know, Kerr basically just said, fuck that shit. You know, how you gonna go from having under Mark Jackson a top 5 defense, and then when Kerr take over and they would get to the finals in his first year, they still had a top 5 defense. And then after you win championships, after you win what? Let's see. You shit the bed in 2016. You had the worst defense in the league. Then you come back with Durant. You had a middle of the pack or between the middle of nowhere defense. Then last year, the same shit again. and then and what was that? And then after this season, the same they were dead last. So for three straight, you got to fault Steve Kerr on that, and you got fucking Mike Brown, and really, I wouldn't no offense to Steve Kerr, I would have had Mike Brown being the default coach for the Warriors, man. At least when he was with the Cavs, at least when he was with the Cavs, they stayed in the top 3 to top 5 in defense, but they also stayed in the top 3 and top 5 in offense.
Yeah, I
They were a
mean,
balanced mix. Because
yeah.
when Mike Brown was on the interim, I noticed Golden State was playing better defense when Mike Brown was coaching on the interim.
Thank you.
But when
Thank you. He didn't change.
when Kerr took over, he decided and just said, "Man, fuck it." But it's just like, I don't know what it is. These offensive minded coaches. It's not just in basketball, but also in football. Now, granted, Bill Belichick, um,
Bill Jimmy,
yeah, he's a defensive minded coach, but at least his offense, at least his team score. At least you can't deny the fact that the Patriots they don't never finish below the top 10 in scoring.
Well, here's why his teams never did that is because he got some of the offensive personnel from Parcells at the New York Giants because Charlie Weiss was the quarterback coach at the Giants. And what's the dude named Tom Coughlin was the offensive coordinator.
Ray Perkins was too now.
Yeah, he was the offensive coordinator out there at the New York Giants as well, which is why Tom Coughlin did good against Bill Belichick. When they went to the Super Bowl and played each other, Tom Coughlin was able to neutralize that defense because he saw it in practice every game and stuff like that. So he brought in Charlie Weiss, who was the quarterback's coach for Phil Simms and Jeff Hostetler during those years. So that's why he brought in most of Parcells' personnel from the Giants and stuff like that. So yes, he was going to be, regardless of whether he had a Tom Brady or Michael Bishop, you know what I'm saying? He was going to have some type of success because even Tom Brady came out and said that the only reason why I became the starter was they released Michael Bishop, and had they not released Michael Bishop, I would not have gotten the opportunity in the NFL. Tom Brady said this. This ain't nobody making this up. Because I've actually watched Michael Bishop, and Michael Bishop was
a bad boy, man.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the starter, and the Patriots organization decided not to keep him. So they had Tom Brady. Tom Brady got a break. That's all that was. Had Tom Brady not got that break, he would not have had the success. It's just they saw the vision in Brady, and they was like, "Hey, we're gonna rock with Tom Brady." You know what I'm saying? But I think had they had Bishop, they would have had the same success with Bishop. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is when it comes to that.
Yep. Hey, this is another little thing he said because he was telling somebody this shit. My boy T, he said this. Because when somebody responded, he said, "Yeah, homie." Then talking about back on Draymond and said they're gonna find out Golden State gonna find out real quick that they overpaid the hell out of Draymond. He had got a lot of open shots and drives to the lane because of all the attention KD, Steph, and Clay got. And this had to be the best reply. And I'm gonna go back on the status and love this shit. T said this. He said when Draymond signed with LeBron's Clutch Sports, they should have traded his ass right then and there. Because if he didn't get that max deal, his ass was going over there to the Lakers anyway. When everyone saw on Instagram when the person said they need to trade Draymond, Kevin Durant came out of nowhere and loved the post. That's true. I remember that. I saw it. He loved the post. His ass was telling them right there, it's him or me. The dumbest move they ever made, traded the problem solver and kept the problem of the team. But they didn't trade Durant. And again, they didn't trade Durant. Durant just fucking left. And they talking about they couldn't get him a max deal. And he could have settled for less. Now, Durant a fucking Libra. And I don't blame him for getting gone. Hey, all Libras is like this. We give you one time. When we put an option down for you for you some one time and you don't accept it, we gonna holler. That's it.
Yeah, Draymond is a whole hole, and Draymond he not gonna be in nobody's Hall of Fame no time soon. I mean, You know, the
Shit, he
only
ain't in
reason
my
why,
Hall of Fame, shark mouth motherfucker.
yeah, and the only reason why Draymond had made the All-Star games he got is because he's on a good team. Had he been on anybody else's team, the dude would be garbage.
Mm-hmm.
The dude would not get the attention he get. You know what I'm saying? You know, people try to compare him to Dennis Rodman, but he's not even nowhere as intelligent as Dennis
Dennis
Rodman.
Rodman even said that he's he don't have Draymond don't have my killer instinct.
Exactly. He did not have the intelligence because you couldn't make Dennis Rodman mad like that. He'll pretend like he mad at you, but he knows how to get in people's heads psychologically.
Ass
Draymond
Shaq.
Green, yeah, yeah, and Draymond Green will find a way to lose the game for you. You know what I'm saying? And he'll get a
Mm-hmm.
technical foul. Whereas Dennis Rodman will walk away. He would do something slick and walk away, be like, oh, and point to the nigga, oh, my bad. He fouled me. He fouled me. Oh my goodness. He was dramatic. Dennis Rodman knew how to be dramatical. He knew how to use that acting skills that he had. Whereas Draymond Green is extra emotional as hell. So man, Draymond Green can eat a dick for all I care, man. He fucked that entire Golden State Warriors up to where Golden State Golden State could have easily won, you know what I'm saying, 2 or 3 more championships. They might fuck around and win one, but I don't see it. I don't know where it's gonna come from unless they make a big trade because you let
Yep.
the other guys make their moves and shit like this. So it is what it is when it comes to Gamon Green, goddamn extra emotional ass.
This nigga here. All right, enough on that. Now we getting on to the nitty gritty.
Okay.
Well, as you know, people, Jimmy McWright always tab his line. Jimmy McWright, born and raised in the 901, and he relocated to the 832. And as the topic say, escape to Texas. So here's a picture I had in mind. Just imagine the Kurt Russell escape from LA poster with the patch on. Just put Jimmy's face on there with the patch on the eye and put on there escape to Texas. Uh and we alluded to a lot of things on not only his show, not only on my show, but on his show as well about it because he said he was going to cover in depth about what led him to Houston, Texas, and what really got him away from Memphis. Jimmy, first question of the day was first question in this regard is how long you stayed in Memphis, man?
I stayed in Memphis, shit, 8.5 years to be
Mm-hmm.
exact. Yeah, about 28.5 years to be exact. I was there all my life and stuff like that. So, you know, people always say, well, if you live somewhere all your life, you kind of want to move, but that's not necessarily true because that's a lot of people from out here are not the type of people that would move away from Houston. But Houston
Thank
have
you.
more to offer. Memphis don't have much to offer. You know, even people from Chicago would rather live in Chicago than live in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? They'll probably go to a Detroit before they go to Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Memphis
Mm-hmm.
is just one of the cities. It is what it is. You want to get the hell up out of there. And the people that still want to be there, uh, a lot of times people mentality won't let them leave there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you got motherfuckers in Memphis that have never left the state line, think
Right.
they know everything. You got people that have never left, went past South Haven, Mississippi, or never went past went past West Memphis, Arkansas. They think they know every fucking thing. So with with that being said, man, yeah, to me it was just time for me to go. That's just my opinion. That's just my thing. It was really time for me to go because I saw the mentality of Memphis people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those people out there don't know shit from Shiola and been no goddamn where. If they have been somewhere, they've been to the same 3 or 4 cities that most Memphis motherfuckers go. Most Memphis people have been to Atlanta. If they're gonna leave out of Memphis, most Memphis people been in Nashville. Most Memphis people been to Chicago if they've been somewhere. And a lot of people don't. You got a lot of motherfuckers who ain't never been to Chicago. So they go to the same goddamn 3 cities that gets tiring.
Right.
So the mentality of Memphis people, I mean, and let's not talk about the politics in Memphis. The politics in Memphis is the worst. I mean, I've never seen
Agreed.
some unprogressive ass politicians in history. And I've talked to different politicians in Memphis. I've had the opportunity to shake hands, give hugs, and all that to politicians. And they tell the same goddamn bullshit lie over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Because I've had people, I'm not going to mention the politician name because, I'm cool with them, but the motherfucker was telling me about they were going to put an aquarium inside Bass Pro Shop. That's what they were talking about.
I remember that.
And I know these motherfuckers was lying when they told me that. I'm like, man, stop lying. You don't want black people in that. You don't want black people at the pyramid. That's what it is. You don't want black people to come downtown. That's the issue. You got a city that's 70% black. That's probably, Memphis is. Here are some things that about Memphis that is just negative. And I know I'm gonna get into a pissing contest about my hometown, and there are some things I like about Memphis, but I'm gonna get into that later.
Okay.
But the pissing
Now,
contest
let me cut you off. Now, I'm a native Chicagoan myself, and I'm gonna put a plug in. Tell them what to expect next week on your show when you interview me.
Well, I'm gonna interview. I'm gonna tell people about. We're gonna talk about his life story as well. What made him go to school. What makes him click. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get on your history, man. We're
Yeah,
gonna get on that, man.
this ain't no Jimmy, and this is gonna be uncensored and unfiltered. Because I'm gonna talk
Yeah,
about a
most
lot of shit and everything what Jimmy says, and even he threw a foreshadowing on there. I'm gonna tell the real story as to what led a Chicago dude like me relocate to Memphis.
yeah.
And I share the same sentiments about what he said there because I woo, but I'm not gonna spoil it there. But continue.
But with Memphis, it's the mentality is extra fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, from politics to
He threw a foreshadowing on there. I'm gonna tell the real story. What
yeah.
the?
Did I get an echo? I'm sorry, I got an echo.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to share the video actually, but the politics is fucked up. The progression is fucked up. I mean, Memphis is not trying to go nowhere. I'm just gonna keep it 1,010. And as much as I want that city to progress, I don't see it progressing no time soon. With them choosing this mayor that they have, you know what I'm saying? And with them
Strickland.
with the city council, they need to get rid of everybody in politics. You need some changes in order for
Yeah.
Memphis to be even remotely close to the cities like Nashville and Atlanta and all that other good shit. They're gonna have to change the politicians, period. Run business there. You know what I'm saying? If you try to open up a business downtown, they basically gonna gentrify you out. Look at Isaac Hayes Restaurant. Isaac Hayes Restaurant was the shit. You know what I'm saying? But he had to close
Man.
it down a year before he passed away because the rent was so goddamn high. The rent was too goddamn high at the fucking Peabody place.
Man,
And
and
now
see, and that Peabody place is just there. I don't know what the fuck it is now, because I used to go there. When when my single by myself days, I used to go to Isaac Hayes
Mhm.
restaurant, give me a chicken out thing, the black and chicken Alfredo, and it was fucking good. I would go there every Saturday night for the comedy show when
Yeah,
they would have a comedy show, and people complained about, man, but the food too high. Shit, but you get your fucking money's worth.
hell
What would you rather do? And you get it fresh. So what would you rather
yeah.
do? Would you rather pay to eat processed ass food at some of these places that's there, or would you rather eat real genuine food that you're gonna get your fucking money's worth from with a restaurant like that, like Isaac Hayes? I mean, I'll choose if Isaac Hayes' restaurant was still open now. If they had to change his name, call it like instead of Isaac Hayes restaurant, call it something, I would still eat there. You know,
Yeah, is the one in Chicago still open? Because I know he
the
had
who?
one in Chicago. He had one in Chicago as well. The Isaac Hayes restaurant
I
in Chicago.
I
Yeah,
don't know, but I don't know, but I'll find out. Uh,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. Definitely ask.
but I do agree with you about with the politics and everything because and just to give a little snippet, city of Chicago, they got they look, they have their little issues as well. The politics isn't as bad up there.
Yeah,
I mean, even from the time when I was growing up there, the politics wasn't bad. I mean, we had when I lived in Chicago, man, we had a damn good mayor and Mayor Daley,
uh-huh.
the son, not the father, because mom's was around when his dad was in office.
Yeah.
And then when I was growing up, it was Harold Washington. When Harold Washington died, Daley took over. But Daley, dude, was a no nonsense ass mayor, and I talked about him on your show. Anytime when this dude called a press conference at fucking 1 in the morning to tell People's Gas and Commonwealth Edison to cut everybody's powers on, because it was a winter effect, because and a lot of folks couldn't get out, pay the bill and stuff like that, and Commonwealth Edison and People's Gas were cutting everybody's electricity and lights off. Now this wasn't
Right.
back in 2011. This is back like I think in 98 or 99. I think, I'm not sure. This
Yeah.
man got on fucking called a press conference at 1 in the morning with his damn robe on. This how gangster he was. The man had his robe on. When he found out that an elderly lady died, he said that's what pissed him off. And he said, as of now, everybody, the people who got disconnection notices, their bills are paid for by the city. He said, let me find out somebody else died under my watch, you fired. He wasn't playing. See, and that he wasn't playing at that time. So now he's gone. So as of now, Chicago has the first lesbian mayor. Look it up. And now I'm not telling a lie, because Rahm Emanuel, he was okay.
I know
You know,
about it.
Rahm Emanuel, he was okay, but Chicago's the first lesbian mayor. I don't know how she is now, but I'm gonna delve into that. Probably after the show. Um, you said about with the politics with Memphis and everything, and you said about the people are not willing to change. Let me ask
No.
you this: do you think, from with you being an ex-native Memphian, now that you're a Texan, do you do you honestly think that there will never be any change in Memphis? With you moving out now, or have you seen any changes since you've been gone? Since you're now a Texan?
I haven't seen any progression at all. I mean, things are changing, and a lot of times they're changing. From what I'm looking at, they're changing for the worse because the population has went down, and it's went down to where Nashville has, since the inception of the state of Tennessee, they have they have became the second largest city in the state of Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? That's not good. And one of the reasons why Nashville is the second largest, the largest city in Tennessee, because at first they were just the largest metropolitan area in Tennessee, and Memphis was the largest city in Tennessee. But the reason why is a lot of people from Memphis are going to Nashville for jobs. Now, what's happening is Nashville is getting more and more expensive. So if they don't have a good enough job, they're probably going to end up either going back to Memphis or probably going to Atlanta. But I digress with that point. But the number of people is leaving Memphis, because I think Nashville is right at 700,000 people. Memphis was right
Mm-hmm.
at 700 people around 2000, and then the population all of a sudden had started decreasing to where the metropolitan area, people were leaving the metropolitan area swiftly, because the two largest cities that people in Memphis are going to is Nashville and Atlanta. More so Atlanta than it is Nashville. You know what I'm saying? Because people really want
I
so
mean,
much of a
fag
change
Atlanta.
that yeah. So they're not trying to go close. They're not trying to be close to Memphis. So that's the thing with that is going on.
Right. I agree. I agree on that sentiment. Also, you came from a school that Oak Haven High, by the way. Uh, you know, you came from a school, man, that had its share of little star athletes. What have you noticed the difference? As far as athletics go, as far as like basketball and football. What have you noticed the difference between the athletics, how the athletic programs here with all Memphis high schools and down there in the Houston high schools?
Well, with the athletics out here, the gateway to be successful is wider than Memphis is. I'll tell you that for sure because these give more support out here for sure, especially in football. Football, you can't even compare Memphis to Houston football. Nowhere in Texas, you got small cities that make Memphis look bad in terms of football.
Yeah, comparing ice cream
Basketball,
to horse manure.
basketball talent wise, that's where Memphis would probably be slightly better than Houston. But the gateway to success is much easier in basketball because you know the gateway is better because you don't if you get in trouble in Texas, you out of there in terms of going to jail and stuff like that. Because I've known people that have done prison stints. You know what I'm saying? And before they got their stuff together out here, they were, they not playing out here. You know what I'm saying with these particular guys. So when you know that, you're gonna think twice about doing some crazy shit out here, as opposed to Memphis and stuff like that, where you got the gateway to do any kind of crazy shit. But the basketball side of things, because I can't compare baseball or track and field or other track and field or other sports because they beat Memphis in the water. But the only sport I should probably say is even comparable in Memphis got a slight edge in basketball for sure. So but there are more NBA players from Houston than there are in Memphis. I will say that, but of course it's obvious because of population. You know what I'm saying? You got 2.5 million, 7 million people metropolitan area. So it
Mhm.
is what come to that.
Okay. So, in other words, I mean, I agree with Jimmy on that one because, I'm gonna brag about Chicago here for a minute. Chicago produced some of the better athletes as well. As far as basketball, um, football, I don't know about, but we produce a hell. Yeah, I'm saying we as in Chicago. I still represent Chicago. Chicago produced some hellified athletes in
Mhm.
basketball. Nick Anderson, Kendall Gill, all them guys. Look at some of the athletes that came out of Percy Julian in football, like Howard Griffin. The dude, this dude, look him up. Howard Griffin. He set the NCAA record with rush for 8 touchdowns in one fucking game. So we do
Yep.
we do produce some good athletes out of Illinois, but they mainly going up there to this place in Columbus, Ohio, uh, called Ohio State. They're not playing for the University of Illinois. I think now I will say in regards with huh?
Simeon Rice is from Chicago too. Don't
Yeah,
forget about that.
okay. Yeah, I forgot about it. My bad, Simeon. Uh,
Yeah, he's from
but
Chicago too.
yeah, but I can't say one thing that right now Memphis does have an edge. Between Memphis and Chicago, it's tiff and tat as far as like with basketball talent goes. I mean, now I'll say this: the talent has dropped off some
Hmm.
in the Chicago area. Now Memphis does have that, but in other sports, I mean, yeah, Chicago has dropped off some. They get back, but back then produced some hellified athletes, and then had some hellified programs like DePaul. DePaul is now in the shitter right now.
Yeah.
The Memphis program, the Memphis basketball program, it's on the come up. I look down to where you at down there in Houston. Kevin Sumlin made not Kevin Sampson, excuse me, I stand corrected, made the fucking right decision by staying there. And he needed to stay there. He don't need to entertain no motherfucking body else. He need to be off limits to talk. Because he's building a win in Houston, barring if he doesn't fuck around and do something fucked up to the point where he pisses for Tito off and he set the program back some. So I mean,
Hmm.
as far as now Houston football, Yeah, they took a step back, and basically, I'm gonna say this: the King guy, whatever his first name is, he basically just quit on him. Let's just be real. He quit on him. He quit on him. He did. Fuck boy, that was a fuck boy move. What was it? What's his first name?
I'm not gonna call it a fuckboy move because I can't do that to him because I don't know what
Yeah,
was going on. We
but
really don't know.
he basically quit on him because
Yeah, but we
it
don't know. We don't
yeah.
know what was going on. Yeah, he quit on him, but we don't know what was going on. So I can't really say that it was fuckboyish because we don't know really what was going on. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, brother. Continue.
Yeah, but the Houston program, I mean, yeah, they got, I thought that with them, with the Fertitas and the athletic director getting Dana Hogerson was the cool's coup. It was more of a looking what its way is looking. It's more like a boo boo the food move, you know.
Yeah,
But I think this year one because now if he does this shit in year two, this definitely is boo boo the food. Because Hogerson always wanted to come back to Houston, and he said Houston is one place, and I agree with him when he said Houston is one place you don't want to leave from. You know,
you, you
you
definitely
know.
don't, and I can tell you based on the successful people that come out of Houston and the people that come to Houston. You know, a lot of Houston Rockets still live in Houston. Uh, a lot
Hmm.
of uh, a lot of celebrities live out in Houston that I can't name off the top of my head because I'm shocked. Like the Astros, not the Astros, but the Nationals. The dude, the Rendon guy, he lives here on the off season. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Because they talking about in the local news a Houston connection with the Rendon guy, one of the top hitters for the Nationals. He live out here. And matter of fact, when Hurricane Harvey uh, when Hurricane Harvey happened, he took off from his baseball schedule to come help the people out in Houston. A lot of people don't know that he took some time off to help the people of Houston out. So I definitely respect him for doing that. You know what I'm saying on his end. So it is what it is when it comes to that, man.
All right. Now what you saying about with Houston? I'm gonna go back on something like you said something earlier that Memphis is kind of like resistant to change, and a lot of people are leaving Memphis. Would you say, matter of fact, you and let's just get into detail. You along with myself, we've been vocal about our former employer known as FedEx. All
Mm-hmm.
right. How long did you work at FedEx? And what? And you alluded to it a couple years ago on one of my episodes of Let's Draw on Something. What really? Well, first of all, how long did you work at FedEx? And was there
I
was
worked
there? Go ahead.
I worked at FedEx for may as well, I'll just say not 10 years.
Okay.
May as well say 10 years because I was a couple of months off of my 10th year. So just say 10 years. So yeah, I was working there that long.
Okay. Yeah, and then in working there, you've been very, very vocal, as well as I. And like I said, we both have been. Um, do you think maybe one of the reasons is why when you moved for FedEx that you did not see any opportunities to grow there? They're like as far as career growth, or let alone, did you see yourself trying to stay? Did you see yourself establishing a lifelong career at FedEx? And if so, and if not, why? And also, what was the pilot like to start a fire for you leaving? Because you alluded to that a while back.
I never saw myself uh I never saw myself staying there long term as far as FedEx. Unless I either got a degree or, you know, got some type of trade going on with there. So I never saw myself being at FedEx forever in the day. You know what I'm saying? I never saw myself because I've always wanted to do something different. I always wanted to have a business to where I don't got to worry about fucking with nobody else. I ain't got to deal with these shitty ass managers. I ain't got to deal with these shitty ass, execs that have anything to do with uh FedEx. It's just, I mean, I never saw myself just staying there forever and a day. Never saw that. So if I was there right now, I would definitely have something on me to where, uh, what I'm saying, I can make like 50K or 100K out there if I was still there in Houston. But I never just saw it as something that I wanted
Still
to.
there? You mean you're in Houston now?
Yeah, I never, if I was living here, I would be a driver at FedEx. I would never be in the hub or in the warehouses, FedEx warehouses out there. I would definitely have some type of driving certification to where I'm making big money, or be a contractor or something for FedEx and stuff, because FedEx do hire a lot of outside contractors to make shipments and shit like that. So, other than that, I never saw myself being there on the long term. It just happened. I just happened to be there 10 years.
Yeah, and that I agree, man. Because well, to me, and a lot of people don't think so. I never saw, and again, it's little snippets because I'm going in depth when Jimmy interviews me about this. I was there from '01 to 15. I was there for 14 years. Had I not moved to Huntsville, this would have been 18 years for me because my goal was to be there for 20 years. And I would have been. I think I would have probably made a team leader before I would be a ramp agent. But I mean, I read because and you discussed it earlier. You said politics is bad in Memphis. Jimmy, you and I worked at a place where there were a lot of motherfuckers pulling some politics away, and they pull politics so good that they could be working in Washington right now.
Yeah.
So, do you think that was also a factor as to why you left?
Politics, and like, I was just tired of fucking Memphis. That's why I left. I was just
Mm-mm.
fucking tired of Memphis. It's a
No, but I was just saying. But do you think that was why you left FedEx in general? Because that also another factor into you speeding up the process about you getting ready to move to Houston?
well, I wouldn't have left. And personally, I would not have left FedEx in Houston. I just left FedEx in Houston because I didn't have a vehicle and I didn't have driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I didn't have driver's license at that time, and not having driver's license in Texas is, to a certain degree, is a kiss of death. Now, I made it work and do what it do, but it's damn near a kiss of death because I have some stories for being out in this hot ass weather in Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, we're gonna dwell on talk about them too.
Yeah, because you definitely. I'm gonna get on that, but yeah, it just, I didn't have a vehicle and I wasn't able to get there reliably. That was the thing out there. Because if I was gonna stay there, I was gonna move up or get the fuck on to another company that's gonna pay me some better funds. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is when it comes to that.
Okay. Now, what was all right? Also, we're gonna lead up to the Texas thing in a minute. What was the final? What was the straw that broke the camel's back? That definitely set you. That definitely made you say, "Fuck this! I'm going to Houston." What was the straw beside the Memphis politics? What was the straw that broke the camel's back? Where you just said, "You know what? Was it something
Well,
that you seen, or was it something that you seen, or was it something that you was tired of seeing?" What was the straw that broke the camel's back that just said, "Hey, Memphis, fuck you, I'm gone"?
I can name a couple of things. One, I was tired of seeing my fellow black people begging for change. That was begging for scraps. That was first and foremost. I was just tired of that. Which most cities have that problem, but it's all over Memphis. It's from the east, west, south, north. It's a major problem. Everywhere you
Mm-hmm.
go in Memphis, I don't give a damn how good your neighborhood look. As the Chicagoans would say, you see a nigga with them cement shoes on begging for change. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you get tired of seeing that. You know what I'm saying? That's first. Me being able to travel, me being traveling to places like New York, LA. Atlanta, places like Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, being able to see Chicago. Those were the things that made me wanted to get the fuck out of Memphis. Period. You know what I'm saying? When you travel to those cities, when you travel to cities that have a cosmopolitan vibe, that has progression, when you travel to cities that got it together in comparison to your city, and your city is some raggedy shit. And not just that, I the advice of brother Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed say if your city ain't popping, uh, you need to get the fuck out that goddamn city. If your city ain't popping, get the fuck out. That was one of the things. So what I did was I traveled on both sides of the coast. You know what I'm saying? I traveled to the North Atlantic. So, I traveled from the Atlantic to the Pacific coast. So it was me seeing how beautiful those cities are and what could be used, could be done, um, what my life could be. You know what I'm saying? Where my life was that made me get out of Memphis. But the main thing that made me
About
get out of
hold on, K State final 48-41. Go ahead.
made me get out of Memphis was Houston. Because if I had came to Houston when I was 21, 22, I wouldn't have left like I did when I came out here. Because I got an offer letter already right before I left to Houston. I was like, hold on to it, and you know what I'm saying, before I leave. So when I saw the way Houston was, because everywhere I went to Houston, it's a job. We need jobs. Nigga, bring your ass to this job. Please, we'll pay you such and such amount of dollars. When I saw all the jobs that that I saw in Houston, all
Mhm.
nothing but we will hire signs from the warehouse industry to the restaurant industries. I was like, man, I'm not coming back to Memphis. I told my ex-girlfriend that who was with me, I'm like, look, you stay your ass over here. You stay your ass in Memphis. I'm gonna stay in Houston. And the good thing was I had somebody that I knew that was in Houston that already had it popping. So I was like, I'm gonna come down here and we gonna stay. And then FedEx sent me the letter, FedEx the letter, and I signed it and I emailed it back, and that was it.
And the rest was history. When did you leave Fed?
Say what now?
What year did you leave FedEx?
I love FedEx in 2013.
Okay. Now let's see. As Jimmy McWright, as he left FedEx 2013, he heads down to Houston, Texas. When you got down to Houston, Texas, Jimmy, in one word, describe your first time there. Your first experience getting to Houston was what?
Love.
All right, go ahead with it.
Love. It was love, man, because Houston is different, man.
Hmm.
That's the reason why people don't ever leave. It's very seldom that you got a person from Houston that leave. But one thing about Houston people is just because we leave don't mean we ain't gonna keep our highs. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Right.
know some people that got like 10 houses out here. Some people that I'm close to personally, they got 10 houses. They talking about moving into the country because they tired of the city. But
Hmm.
they was like, because I'm tired of the city, don't mean I'm not gonna come back down here and get the love from Houston. I just want to be in the country and with some peace and quiet, which you can get peace and quiet in Houston, but that's their decision. I'm 1,000% fucks with them on that decision. You know what I'm saying? But regardless, whether you stay here or you go to another city, you always know that you got love in Houston.
Right. All right. And you also detailed, man. One time, I think it was on your show. I believe it's on mine. You had some little rough beginnings when you came here. Could you tell us what? Could you lighten the listeners what happened in that on that one?
When I came to Houston, am I corrected in assessment? When I first came to
Yeah.
Houston, um, I didn't know the city like I I I should have, and I didn't take advantage of the opportunities in Houston like I should have because one, I wanted to make some things happen, and I wasn't listening because I was just content with getting rinky-dink jobs, which the jobs in comparison to Memphis jobs, they they're you could survive off of it compared to Memphis, where if you got, if this job was in Memphis, I would be balling.
Mm-hmm.
Houston, Houston balling and Memphis balling are two totally different ballings and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
What made it what had it rough is, one, it took me a minute to adapt to Houston. That's first and foremost. Two, I went homeless after I think it was my second year here. 1 year, I mean 1 year after, I'm sorry.
How long you
Because
were homeless?
I was homeless for about a week.
Damn.
Uh, because me and my homeboy, the dude that actually got me to Houston, he ended up lying to a nigga about some bullshit. And if he listening, eat a dick hoe with your fucked up teeth having ass. You know what I'm saying? So eat a dick. Eat a dick and die from it. From suffocation and choking, bitch.
Correct me if I'm
Uh,
wrong. Isn't he? Word is he's a man of the cloth, right? Supposedly.
Man, fuck that hoe. I don't give. Fuck that hoe. But anyway, nevertheless, nevertheless, I got screwed over because
Mhm.
motherfuckers just started lying, and we could have worked together, man. But it is what it is. But I didn't take advantage of opportunities like I should have. And when I figured it out, that's when that bullshit started happening. I think had I took advantage of certain opportunities, I wouldn't have never been able to experience homelessness. But that's what made that's what drove me, man, being homeless. And I never told my
Right.
mother that I went homeless, because I just told people that I was struggling and I need to get my shit together. You know what I'm saying? And I was homeless during the dog days of summer in Houston, and I, I experienced a heat cramp. I never knew what a heat cramp was until I came to Texas.
Right.
That and heat cramps is a beast. If you ever had one, because
Nah.
all of us,
I don't. I've heard the stories about them bad boys, man. And
I remember one time I was out in the street, trying to move my shit to a hotel room,
Mhm.
and I cramped up so bad that I couldn't. My homeboy Mike, who's in the sports chat group, he's the quiet dude in the sports chat group. But shout out to him. That's my
Yeah.
nigga. He had to carry me because I couldn't walk because I cramped up. Kind of like LeBron did in San Antonio when the heat when the air conditioner went out. That
Yeah.
and I called it in one of the worst spots you can catch it in the calf muscle. I couldn't walk, so he had to carry me to the
Ooh-wee.
hotel room, and I had to sit down, get some cool air. Because at first our strategy was, okay, we finna, because the place I was homeless in, I took a storage facility, and we sat
Right.
there. We split 7 days there. We split 7 days from a hotel room to a storage facility. And I was still having to go to work every day. I still had to go to work every day. That's the crazy thing. I was homeless and I had to go to work every day. But I was going through a
Right.
temp agency at this
Mm-hmm.
time. And uh temp agencies out here is, you can come up on some good jobs with the temp agencies out here, unlike Memphis. The career center in Memphis, they need to shut down tomorrow. They need to shut down expeditiously because they ain't shit. They a piss pot. But with these temp agencies, places like Elwood Staffing, Diversified Sourcing Solutions. I'm just naming a few that could possibly, when you come out here, you can just get some money making 10, 15, 17 an hour, if you depending on your qualifications, and then damn, you in the dough. But
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, uh I was working for some of these couple of odd jobs, for lack of a better term, and I caught a heat cramp, man, and what we did was we bought some pizza from Pizza Hut in Maine. I went to bed. But that moment right there, I was like, soon as I get up enough money, we finna get us a room and house. We gonna get us somewhere to where we can stay, and we ain't gotta worry about no bullshit. And that's what we did. We got there. It was small space. The space was very small. We stayed there together for about a year and 3 months. And after a year and 3 months, I ended up moving to Fifth Ward. Went into a rooming
Hmm.
house in Ward after that. But we came together. We came together and got something, and we worked it out. And before I left, we was gonna leave together, but he decided to stay at the rooming house. So I
Yeah.
ended up getting something in Fifth Ward, and now I'm here, on the Southwest side.
Yeah. Well, have you kept in contact with Well, let me ask you this, because I gotta make a run to the Waterloo. And that way you promote what you promote. Um, have you stayed in contact with Mike, or
We're always in contact. He's still in Memphis. He ended up going back to Memphis, but he still has plans to actually leave. Right now he's taking care of an ill father right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
So he ain't got no choice but to go back at this point. But we still in contact. We still cool. I fucks with him. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my nigga.
All right. And correct me if I'm wrong. There's also a native Memphian that's down there who has yet to join us in our live stream. How did you and Corey Wolf get acquainted?
I've been acquainted with him through my sensei, or not the head of the school, but basically Sensei Eric Munns was. I got acquainted with him through boxing talks and having random boxing conversations, and I just met him this year, believe it or not. We were supposed to meet a couple of years ago when Manville went to the state championship game and blew a 20-point lead. But it was
Hmm.
so many people at NRG Stadium because this high school that he went that he didn't go to this high school, but he's in the suburbs of Houston. But Manville is not too far from the neighborhood he stays in. Marcus Camby, a couple of Daryl Strawberry lives out there, uh, and this particular suburb brought probably 40,000 people along, and I think the stadium was filled like I think it had 60 or 70,000 people in that mug. But the Manville side brought 30 to 40,000, so I couldn't really see them. And then it was a situation where since it was a high school game, you could sit anywhere you want. You know what I'm saying? And if you got up from your seat, somebody was gonna get that hoe. So it was a lot of people in that bitch, so I couldn't see him. But I recently see him at the Errol Spence Sean Porter fight at Buffalo Wild Wings. So, but we've been acquainted. We've been acquainted for about 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, he's not truly a native Memphian, but he kind of you may as well say he's from Memphis, but he's actually from East Tennessee.
Okay.
Uh, Dobbs Bennett to be exact.
Right.
Dobbs Bennett High School.
Man, and I got acquainted with him through you, man. That's great guy, and he's also and I stress these words in bold letters and with italics. He's a prime example of what a good father should be. Because
Hell,
man, that enough said. I'm not gonna go into detail. Enough said. He is a prime example of what I ain't gonna say. Not just a good father, a damn great father should be. He spends time with his sons. He has he has a lovely wife. I mean, he provides some insight with us on about some football and all this other stuff too. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. And
he's a prime, very damn good prime example of that, man. Damn great prime example of it.
I gave him some advice, and he took it.
Yeah,
And he got his son in everything, and everything. He
I
got his
see,
son
man. He be posting up in baseball and shit.
martial arts.
Who martial art? Who know? Shit, who know? Who know? Hell, his son probably gonna be a UFC fighter or probably starting pitching Astro
Yeah, man. I mean,
or
he
starting
really.
batter or something, man.
And
Uh,
you wouldn't. and you would not know he works so much, but he works a lot, and he's still there supporting his kids. That's crazy. He
Yeah,
works a
I
lot.
mean, so
Yeah.
you fathers need to take example. Speaking of which, we gotta interrupt this because one, I gotta run to the restroom, and two, I'm reading on here. Speaking of Bill Belichick, the New England Patriots is expected to release Josh Gordon in 1 to 2 weeks because with him being on injured reserve. Listen to this shit.
Uh-huh.
Josh Gordon, who is on injured reserve, is expects to be ready in 1 to 2 weeks. The Patriots used the minor designation for his placement on injured reserve Wednesday, signifying a lesser injury. That means the team has to release him upon his return to health. If this happens after Tuesday's trade deadline, Gordon will be subject to waivers and other teams could put in a claim for him and he could be on the roster at any time. Gordon had been playing through a left knee injury and was knocked out of the team's October 10th win over the New York Giants when he injured the knee while attempting to make a tackle after a Patriots fumble. He missed a 33 to shit win over the Jets on Monday. Through 6 games, Gordon has totaled 20 catches for 287 yards and 1 touchdown. And as you know, in December, he was suspended indefinitely for violating the terms of his conditional reinstatement under the NFL drugs policy. His suspension was later lifted in August by Commissioner Roger Goodell. Gonna get your thoughts on that in a minute. Let me run to the water hole. Fill everybody in on what you gonna be throwing up or whatever, and some college scores and stuff like that. Be right back in 2 seconds, people. 2 minutes.
Right, man. Correct and full effect, man. So we got some football scores. South Carolina's leading Tennessee 7-0. Penn State leading Penn State leading Michigan State 7-0 in the first quarter. Louisville and Virginia's knotted up. Florida State is up on Syracuse 13-0. Um, so yeah, man, we got some pretty good college scores going on right now. Actually, in the World Boxing Series, they're supposed to be Regis Prograis versus Josh Taylor. They will be playing. They will be fighting in the championships of the World Boxing Series. So shout out to those two brothers for actually, doing the damn thing. So I will be watching that fight, and I will give you an update on that fight as well. So stay tuned. I will do a post-fight analysis on that particular fight in particular. But he's actually walking to the stadium as we speak. It's live on Instagram, worldboxingseries.com, ladies and gentlemen. So worldboxingsuperseries.com, ladies and gentlemen. So we definitely gonna be doing a post fight on that particular fight. That fight is pretty good. Shout out to Regis Prograde. He's also training out here in Houston, Texas. Uh, with him training out in Houston, Texas, man, he getting the best workout, man. So much respect to Rigoro, and hopefully, man, he come back and knock this motherfucker out. So it is what it is, man. Uh, in other boxing news, um, the UCAD is going to be holding Dillian White's mandatory status until 2021. So that drug, I just wish this dude would just go away, and if he fight Deontay Wilder, he get knocked the fuck out, man. So it is what it is. I see you back, man.
Yes, sir. All right. So, what are your thoughts? Well, we had to cut into this interview. What are your thoughts on about that shit, man? Do you think that's just a callous ass move by New England? Because it seemed to me like they adopted that Goodfellas mentality. Like, oh, your house caught on fire. Fuck you, pay me.
Fuck New England. I mean, I'm still salty about the way they did. Oh boy, I'm still salty about the way they did Antonio Brown off accusations, not even convictions, accusations.
They
Again,
released Michael Bennett because he got into it one of the with Burt Belima, I think. And
man,
but see, Michael Bennett, he fucked around and he doubled down. You talking about he apologized, but then he gonna turn around and say, "I apologize for what I said. I was wrong, but it is what it is." You know. And he
And
got
don't apologize.
released. And then check this out. Word is that Kansas City was gonna snatch his ass up when they let him go. But they agreed with a trade with Dallas. I'm like, man, that was some fuck shit right there.
Let me tell y'all black men something. And I gotta talk to black men.
Mhm.
Stop apologizing for shit that y'all ain't at fault for. It's too many niggas out here apologizing for shit that they ain't at fault for. They're apologizing for shit that they shouldn't be apologizing for. Black men, stop being apologetic to these bitch ass motherfuckers who don't like you any goddamn way. I wish niggas would stop doing that little weak ass, bussy ass shit. I get sick of that shit. If these motherfuckers are doing something wrong, don't apologize for that shit.
Thank you.
File a law with these bitch ass motherfuckers. I'm tired of New England. That's the reason why I don't like New England Trump supporting asses. That's the reason why I don't like Tom Brady Trump supporting ass. I don't like the NFL Trump supporting asses. At least more than half the owners were Trump supporters. So enough of these bitch ass motherfuckers.
Okay.
It just irritates my soul.
Right. All right. Now we're back to the interview, people. We had to break on that one. Again, let me like my listeners. The title of this thing is "Escape to Texas." My co-host Jimmy J Smooth is detailing chronologically his move from Memphis to Texas. And my next question is, what have you noticed as far as culture, meaning the people, how the difference is with the people? Who has a better hospitality? Now, I've gone on record and said that Chicago does have some hospitality. Even the fucking street nigga will show you some damn hospitality. If you get fucking lost, they gonna tell you, hey, you go this way here, you hit Dan Ryan a little quick or whatever
Uh-huh.
or whatnot, you know. But what have you noticed? What's the give your reason? Not no exp. There, and again, there are no explanations in this podcast because to quote my late father, you got to explain shit to somebody. You giving people an excuse, and you they gonna roll with and say, "Oh, he be giving excuses all the time." So, Jimmy, give your reason as to why you think the Houston culture, as far as people and everything, as far as the people goes, is a little bit better than Memphis.
Well, let's say I'm you a motherfucker that's walking, that ain't got no whip. People will help you out, man. People will come out, don't gotta know you from a can of paint, man. I've known some people, and this is no bullshit, and I've mentioned this on the show last week. I knew a dude that took me to Southwest Houston. I knew for a fact I was going out of his way. And he lives in the city of Baytown, Texas, which is right a suburb of Houston. That's like 30, 45 minutes away. You know what I'm saying? Because we got suburbs that take a whole hour to get to. I know people that'll go out their way. They know they gotta have an hour and a half traffic, and they'll take you home, man. Before a Memphis motherfucker will. Have I had people in Memphis like that take me home? Absolutely, but I've seen it more out here than than in Memphis for sure. I can tell you that for a fact. If a person is cool with you, or if you just cool, you ain't got to be friends with a motherfucker. You can just be cool with a motherfucker. They be like, where you got to go, man? I'll take you. I might not be going that way, but I drop you off halfway to your house, or get you right on the bus route that'll take you to your house. Motherfuckers in Memphis ain't gonna do that shit. Not at a mass level. You got motherfuckers like Craig said last week, and that pissed me off because I remember those days. That nigga lived right on the backside of this nigga house. Talking about I ain't going that way, but you live right there, nigga. You going to the same spot. Just be like, hey, if you got $10 in gas money, man, I'll take you to work, man. Or give me $20 this week, or $30 or $40 this week, I'll give you gas money. You know what I'm saying? And as a matter of fact, speaking of gas money, I can count on one hand how many people asked me for gas money. If I gave them gas money, I just gave it to them because I knew they were sitting on. As far as motherfuckers actually asking me for gas money, I can count on one hand how many people had to even ask me for gas money. And when they did ask me for gas money, they're like, man, that shoot me. I get a hookup on this, man. You ain't even, they fuck with you out here. They'll invite you to dinners and stuff like that. They're quicker to be more inviting than
Yeah.
people are more inviting than Memphis motherfuckers. That's not to say Memphis don't have good people. It's just
It's
I
just
see more good.
well, let me say this. I mean cut you off. Here in Memphis, there are let me define it. There are good people, but then again, there are quote unquote good people. They
Yeah.
only good toward their own. They only good toward their own kind. But I'm going to elaborate because on next week's show, on Jimmy's show, I'm gonna shoot off on some motherfuckers. I ain't saying no names because another thing I did notice about, and what Jimmy has, and what I've noticed, you got some selfish ass motherfuckers here in Memphis. Hell, some of them, I'm not saying names on it. Some of my own friends I know can be fucking selfish as hell. But continue, and believe me, they should fucking know better. And when you look at it, you can't say it ain't their fault. It is their fault the way they is because you gotta look at how they were raised, how they program their brain to be around other people. And like Jimmy said, the people here, basically in a sense, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Some of the people here in Memphis are very fucked up. They had a fucked up way, coddled way of being fucking raised. Like I had a friend of mine I have a friend of mine who lives in Michigan had the fucking who decided to go to the ball machine and put $1 in to check out some balls by telling me that I've been coddled all my life. Okay, let's see. If I was coddled all my life, I wouldn't be struggling like most every other niggas, like most every other motherfuckers is. That's one. I have a disabled mother, and my father was nothing but a bona fide street nigga that he was proud to announce. And it's like what I've said on here a while back. And Memphis people always had a tendency to say this. My first and foremost, I'm grown. Okay, don't tell me. And one of my Facebook friends, and I stole this quote from him. I didn't steal it. I borrowed it, and it's true. If you grown, don't announce that you grown.
Act like you grown.
That's all you gotta do. Just act like grown. Don't announce it, because if you gotta announce to the whole fucking world you grown, or like my pop said, man, I'm a street nigga. Okay, if you a street nigga, act like one. Don't tell nobody, because if you gotta tell somebody what you is, you not one.
Exactly. And
You just a W. The way I look at it, you just a WWE character playing a tough guy. But when it come to when a fan get ready to whoop your ass and they whoop your ass, what happened? Oh, your ass fired. You ain't shit. You lose your credibility gone. So and the way I look at it is like this: when people announce that, if I'm grown, first of all, I'm grown. Or when a female's point away, first of all, I'm motherfucking grown. If you gotta announce you grown, guess what? Your credibility gone.
yeah, you look whack.
And you're whack as hell. So if you listening, if you grown, don't announce to anybody you do it. Just if you grown, act like you grown. Don't tell nobody. But continue.
And not just that with being out here. If you need a job, it's not hard to find. And not just you ain't just got to look at billboards. Some people, especially on the bus, you know what I'm saying, they'll tell you to go to this agency or go inside this particular company and be like, hey, you might want to put in an application over here. They're willing to tell you where the good jobs at, unlike people from Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you have to really scrap through the commercial appeal, which they didn't. It is either here or there with them hoes, but you ain't got to look far to find a job. If you need a job, people on the bus, you get on the bus out here because I've been riding the bus for damn near 7 years that I've been out here. You know what I'm saying? People will be like, man, I know this place hiring. I know that place hiring. They don't mind telling you where to go get a job at. And let me be clear on this. If you can't find a job in Houston, you ain't looking. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This is one of those cities that for the last 10, 12, 15 years, we've been number one in the nation. You know what I'm saying? Percentage wise, you got cities like Minneapolis, Phoenix, percentage wise, but our percentage ain't that much off. You know what I'm saying? So you can't find no job out here. I can't help you, man. I ain't trying to help you.
I mean, and then that's the same. If I were living in Chicago, I mean, and that's the same here, because if you living in Chicago, Memphis is an entirely different breed. Memphis is still a stray cat trying to grow up, but uh, still a kitten trying to grow up to be a cat in that area. But but I take that back. Amazon coming to town, stuff like that. And for the record, I'm gonna announce here I am now an employee of Amazon. Um, so I start with them next Sunday. Um, but if you living in Chicago and you say you can't find a job, go take your ass to Lake Michigan and jump in that motherfucker, because it's plenty of goddamn jobs out there. Like I said about my cousin been with the Chicago FPD for 20 something plus years, and he's bringing in nice figures. So he's bringing in six figures. I'm not going to, and Jimmy, I told you about that. So because I think he's been with them for 24, 25 years. And he's pushing 50 because he got 2 more years to push 50. Because man, if I was him, because if I were my cousin, I sit on my duff, smoke cigar, and drink Jack Daniels, and just enjoy life. Because he's a grandfather, he got two grandsons and whatnot. You know, uh, three daughters, two grandsons, lovely wife, happy life. Shit. If I was him, man, if I was sitting big like that, man, I'd be smoking cigars too, and wish I made that type of money where I can be enjoying going, more on that later, on my interview. But yeah, you are right, because the culture you talked about, you praised it a lot on both podcasts about how good Houston is as far as with everything, and it's no, and speaking of which, you did say that there's no excuse for you to say there's nothing to do in Houston. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. You got plenty of work out here. It's plenty of work out here. Might not be what you're looking for right off the top, but you can find plenty of work out here. It's jobs wanting people out here, and I've sent about 5, 6 people since I've been out here. I helped 5 or 6 people since they've been out here, and a couple of them stayed and a couple of them had to go back. But for the most part, they know that whenever if they ever need something, they always welcome back to Houston, especially wherever I'm staying at. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah. And you alluded to earlier. You said you stayed in the Fifth Ward, the famous and infamous Fifth Ward of Houston. How was that?
Mm-hmm. Fifth Ward is kind of like all of Memphis, goddammit. In all honesty, but I'm talking about the setting. I ain't just talking about the people's mentality. You got hood niggas in every city, but you gotta you know to give respect, you gotta give respect.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've had some people try me. You know what I'm saying? Not pull out no weapons, but they throw hands out there still. You got some old school cats that you say something wrong, we can throw hands, we can get it, and then we can get into a shootout if the problem ain't solved. So I can respect that about motherfuckers from Fifth Ward, because a lot of your great boxers that come out of Houston is from Fifth Ward. Reggie Johnson, George Foreman. Matter of fact, my room, my next door neighbor in my rooming house was grew up with George Foreman. We're talking about when Fifth Ward was a wealthy neighborhood, not when Fifth Ward went to shits before they started building interstates over a lot of these businesses a lot of those businesses out there in Fifth Ward.
Right.
We're talking about when Fifth Ward was like the second largest outright home ownership in the country. When I say outright home ownership, we're talking about house paid for, and the only thing they're paying on is the taxes. And people want to wonder how black people did that back in the day. Well, you had the numbers game. You know what I'm saying? So the numbers game was pretty much the loan officers for black people, and Hidden Colors 5 going to that as well. So that's how a lot of black people were able to outright own they shit. And Third Ward and a couple of other neighborhoods was like in the top 5, but that changed for obvious reasons.
All
But
right.
Fifth Ward, Fifth Ward was an experience, man. I'm always welcomed out there. If I ever get on hard times or just want to stay there to stack up my money, I can always live out there. I ain't tripping. I ain't, because I knew the drug dealers. I know the dudes that'll pull out that pistol if you owe them some money and shit like that. But you know what? That ain't my problem. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as they don't come fucking with me. I'm good. That's the way it is. Because I stayed right next door to the trap house, and there were times during our live streams we would hear gunshots, literally on on the live stream. If you listen very closely,
Mm-hmm.
live stream, you would hear it in the background. But like I say, it ain't my problem. That nigga might have deserved to get got. That nigga might have touched on somebody's kid or something like that. So that ain't my
Oh,
problem. I'm just saying that ain't my problem. So he might have deserved to get shot. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But like I say, I was cool with all the people that did street shit. I was cool
yeah.
with the hoes and pimps and all them niggas. I was cool with that. Long as you don't come, Fifth Ward is like this, man. Long as you don't come fucking with my shit, fucking up my money. Long as you don't come doing, snitching on nobody and making a block out, you good out there. That's the way I look at it, or at least that's how my get down is. Because I'm from the streets. I just wasn't roaming in the streets or wasn't in the life or about that life, for lack of
That's
a better
true. And
term.
then then with me being raised in I would say, I remember the street I lived on, 113th and Perry in Chicago. I wouldn't say it was rough. It was pretty quiet. You know, it was pretty quiet. But like I said, all the problems were settled in the alley, and that's why that's why moms always tell me when I'm coming home from school, don't go behind the alley because you never know what the hell going on behind there. Pops also said either, and and I also lived in South Memphis. Also, I mean, that was more hood than anything. Like I said, I'm not a yeah, I lived in the hood, in the streets, but I wasn't part of that environment. That's why I got away from it. And
Mm-hmm.
more on that on Jimmy J's in-depth interview because yeah, he's got some questions for me on that one.
Okay.
But he's got a lot, so I'm pretty sure he had time to prepare for these. But yeah, I'm not, and like I made it vocally known, I don't pretty too much care for, I don't like street niggas, and that's gonna be more on that next week. And I'm gonna get my in-depth reason why. So and I'm gonna say this, and I'm pretty sure Jimmy will agree with me on this. The people in Memphis, you know, most people in Memphis, they don't know how to grow up. And see, and really, that's what will drive people to move away because a child is, anytime when a child is more honest than I'd rather for a child to be honest with me than an adult. It sounds crazy, but here's why: a child is not going to lie to you. They're not going to steal from you. They're going to be honest and upfront about it. I don't like Mr. Craig. I don't like him. Mr. Jimmy. I don't like him. Well, why? Then they'll whisper in there. Okay, you tell your mom, because she don't want to believe me. something like that. You tell
Yeah.
you tell a quote unquote an adult like that, and like here in Memphis. Oh man, well, man, I don't be paying attention to none of that shit. And this is a city that has some motherfuckers with some of the shortest ass attention spans on here. I'm talking about their attention span so short they can't fucking climb the building.
Agreed.
And yeah, I'm gonna say it here. I question some people, mainly some folks at FedEx. How the fuck y'all living off of 16? You making $17 an hour, and you be able to afford the 4 bedroom house out in Bartlett or Germantown Parkway, Cordova. It's got to be more than just FedEx. You ain't
Mm-hmm.
fooling nobody. You know, there's some phony dudes out here. Now, some people I do know. I'm not saying names. This is A and B. This is it. I categorize some of the groups in A, meaning these are the ones that actually do make a fucking honest buck, and I see it. And the ones in category B are the ones that be out here fake balling like they got all this shit, but they still living under mom's roof.
That's true.
You know, I'm an exception to B because we both got on Jimmy has got I've got on Jimmy's show and he and on my show and stated why I moved back in with moms. My mother's visually impaired. She's blind. So I gotta be here. And if a motherfucker say something different, guess what? You better tell it to me. You better say something fucking different to me because I'm put like this. I advise you not to say shit at all.
Yeah.
Because if I get wind about if something negative about your ass, guess what? I'll throw your dirty laundry out on fucking social media. I'll do a fucking live stream on Facebook and YouTube. Put your fucking dirty laundry out. You know, but we all got to move back here for other reasons. Some motherfuckers they just, and another reason Jimmy alluded to. Some people will, like Jimmy said, the only time he'll come back to Memphis is to visit. But as far as coming back to live, no. I mean, he's got it good where he's getting it good so far where he's at, and that's fucking Houston. I mean, I've when years back wanted to move down to Austin.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Despite the fact that Austin is the heart of the school that where Corey Wolf vehemently despises that dude that coaches the football team. You too, Jimmy. Me3. But they said it is a damn good city to live in. And right now, really, spoiler alert. I'm exploring my options on that, and I'm also exploring my options on other things. To try to help to help take better care of my mom. To get out of this shit she in. But the more on that later. But one more question. Wrap the interview up, man. One more word thing about here. Your stay so far in Houston has been what?
Wonderful, man. I can't. I ain't got no complaints about Houston other than flooding. That's first and foremost, and
Mm-hmm.
the interstates. Interstates suck ass out here. Depending on where you at, I'll say that because sometimes you got places like 290 West, which is on the north end of Houston, that takes you to 610 and take you to ultimately get you to I-10. Uh, they're study building on that motherfucker. So if it's a pet peeve in Memphis, I mean in Houston, I have a problem with is those two things. Because flooding, they can do something about the flooding in spite of Houston being 45 feet above sea level. Like every time it rains in this part of town, I see a whole big ass puddle of water out here. Which is why I
Mm-hmm.
got a 3-story apartment, so my black ass won't drown or think about drowning. So that's the pet peeve I have of Houston. But other than that, I fucks with Houston. You do have crazy ass drivers out here too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that and what's funny, and I mentioned this on Facebook. You got people that they ain't got no that don't have license drive the craziest. Like,
Yeah.
bitch, how you drive crazy with no fucking license? If I my big dome head ass Astrodome head ass got sense enough to go get him a fucking driver's license. You know, without a driver's license. I was always here without a driver's license. Motherfucker, so what? Fuck you and your mama and
Yeah, I didn't get, dude. I didn't get my driver's license till I was 23.
yeah. So I'm talking about the people that got some criticism of that. Fuck you and your mama gonna give me head after the show. So you know, but nevertheless, my ass ain't had my license in a month, and I see how bad people drive. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and you got people that been driving for years without driver's license, or have driver's license and got a good person, that a lucky person to drive to tell you made it easy on you. So that happens a lot too. So other than those three things, mainly two things, but three things, because if you driving crazy, driving slow, I'm gonna find a way to ball past your ass. And I know you've been telling me slow down a little bit. I have control over it. I learned how to control my acceleration. But if I feel like I'm finna, if it's time to put the pedal to the metal, then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned how to balance it out. But you got people that just can't fucking drive, period. And I don't know how these motherfuckers even able to get access to a car out here. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and on that, and on the bright note, we're gonna end on this. My guy, Torture Johnson, sent me a link about um the Queen, LeBron James, gives an epic response on why Kawhi chose the Clippers over the Lakers, and he said this: "How the hell can I answer that? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Ask Kawhi. I'm happy though. He ain't happy. He just wanted his damn that sucker just wanted his damn competition.
That's but I
You
mean,
ain't
why would
happy.
they ask? But here's the thing: why would that fucking motherfucker ask him that stupid ass shit? You saw the decision, and you gonna ask another dude that ain't on his team that why he, you know, didn't even ask that shit. I can't even criticize having that answer. I can't criticize him for that.
I mean,
That's
I
nothing
can't
I'm
either, but
criticizing.
but deep, my dis. I can't say the word hate. My dislike for LeBron because I gotta agree with everything what Charles Barkley said a couple years ago. Does he want all the good players where he don't want to compete? But if I was that dude, whoever that reporter was, I wouldn't have asked that shit. That
Yeah, he
shouldn't even
shouldn't
came.
even.
He should have. Hell, I wouldn't even ask that man why Paul George don't want to be on your team. And Paul George publicly stated. Who did you say again? LeBron. Case closed. He publicly stated he don't want to play with him.
Yeah, and that is understandable. That is understandable. If Kawhi had came to the Lakers definitely gonna win a championship. If he didn't come to the Lakers, hey, that's Kawhi's decision. Kawhi made the best decision for Kawhi Leonard, and I'm
He ain't
not.
make no decision for LeBron.
Yeah, and he was ready to come back to the Los Angeles area. Basically bought a house, not necessarily. May as well say the Los Angeles area because it's like an hour and a half, 90, about 50 minutes away on the train. It's faster to go on the train than it is a car out there. But he lived in Oceanside. He bought a house in Oceanside, California. We knew he was coming back somewhere in California, and like I said, Kawhi's a quiet dude. He took care of his family, took care of all of his siblings. He did doing what he needed to do. So if he wanted to go with LeBron, go figure. If he didn't, hey, I'm still with him with whatever decision he made. He got 2 championships. If he was to retire or get hurt to where he couldn't play anymore, he would be a first ballot Hall of Famer, in my personal opinion. So Kawhi made a decision that was best for Kawhi.
Yep, I gotta agree, man. But other than that, man, you have anything you want to close out with before I sign off?
Well, what I want to tell people as well is this: since the show was about me, if your city ain't popping, Nasheed said, get the fuck out your city, man. If it ain't popping, or if you feel like it ain't popping, get the hell out your city, man. Just move around. Sometimes you just gotta have a change of scenery before you you actually make changes. Because sometimes the change is going to Florida or Atlanta or Nashville or to a city where you feel most comfortable in. So sometimes you got to make a move. And there's nothing wrong with making that move. Make your next move your best move, man. Stay progressing, man. Just because you reach a certain age, don't mean you can't progress. That don't mean you can't uh learn nothing new. Cause like this year, I didn't learn how to play piano. I didn't learn how to drive, and I'm gonna do some other things as well. So I'll keep everybody posted once those things get accomplished. But nevertheless, nevertheless, make your next move your best move, man, and do what's best for you and not what's best for the next person, unless you have family members that need your assistance. Other than that, make your next move your best move. So I'm closing out with that.
Yep, and I agree, and it is what it is. So, on behalf of Jimmy J Smooth, and by the way, like I said, next week, Jimmy J Smooth, the Jimmy J Smooth Network will return as he will interview his co-host, myself, and we'll be talking about my humble beginnings, what led a dude like me to move from a good ass city, Chicago, to Memphis. And I come no holds barred about a lot of things because what a lot of people think that they know about me, what they think they know, they don't, because they gonna really know in this in-depth interview. Because I plan on being balls to the wall. I'm not gonna pull any punches, and I'm gonna be so forth. Hell, I'll go as far. I mean, because from my understanding, Jimmy's gonna come with the hard questions. Because if anybody knows more about my life, about me, it's me. So I'm gonna detail all my humble beginnings and shit like that, and what I think so far about what I think about the South. But I will say this, and as a spoiler alert, I still hate the fucking South. But other than that, without further ado, your boy, on behalf of Jimmy J Smooth, representing 901. Now he's making his permanent home in 832. Y'all gonna know how he do. I'm Craig Smith, born and raised in the 773, relocated to the 901, put up with a lot of bunch of shit in 256, and I'm now in the 662. And y'all gonna know how I do. See y'all next week on the Jimmy J Smooth Show. Take care. Enjoy y'all weekend. Don't party too hard. Y'all have a good one.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man.